followers of these affairs and who have taken shelter of the umbrella of your lotus feet by drinking the intoxicating nectar of your qualities and activities and discussions with one another, can be freed from the primary necessities of the material body.
Okay, so once again, emphasizing the necessity of going to the Supreme Personality of God for whatever desires they might have. Okay? Text number 18, please.
Your wheel, which has 3 naves, rotates around the axis of the imperishable Brahman. It has 13 spokes, 360 joints, 6 rims, and numberless leaves carved upon it. Through its revolution cuts short the lifespan of the entire creation. This wheel of tremendous velocity cannot touch the lifespan of the devotees of the Lord.
Okay, so this is the way to greet the Supreme Lord, by offering nice words of praise and glorification. Please, number 19.
My dear Lord, you alone create the universes, O personality of Godhead. Desiring to create these universes, you create them, maintain them, and again wind them up by your own energies, which are under the control of your second energy, called Yoga Maya, just as a spider creates a cobweb by its own energy and again winds it up.
Thank you. So let's see, an interesting point here. I was having a conversation with my young daughter, Janavi, some of you know, who has come to visit us from England, London. She's close in the Watford area. And having a conversation with her yesterday, and we were talking about how the materialists have gone to a great extent to destroy the planet, to destroy all the nice things we have. With the onset of the industrial age, the streams have become polluted, the air has become polluted, the ground has become polluted. And so we're thinking, why is it that Krishna, who is all-powerful and whose energy this is, this material energy, how is it that he can permit something like that to happen? And of course, the answer is that he is fulfilling the desires of all living entities who come into this world. And if they choose to mess up their situation, which is intended to help them find happiness, then so they can do so. But this age that we're in is the last of four ages that go past. This is the Kali Yuga, and we know by having read on to the end of the Bhagavatam that it's going to become worse and worse. After this short intercession of a 10,000-year period of Lord Chaitanya, because Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago, therefore, we're at the beginning of that 10,000-year period, the golden age of Sri Gauranga. Gauranga! As Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was so much given to say. Okay, so and then so how do things get set aright for the next cycle of 4 ages? In other words, the next age that we have coming up is Satyayuga. And so what personality is going to come at the end of this age to set things right? Lord Kalki, riding on a white horse. And if he were a cowboy, he would also have a white hat. But we know he's not a cowboy. Well, he's a cowboy lover. He's a cow lover, Lord Kalki, because he's an incarnation of Krishna. So, do you know how he prepares this material world to begin that that wonderful age of Satya Yuga, in which mostly souls who are very, very pure-hearted take their births. How does Lord Kalki do that? First of all, he kills all of the personalities who are left in this world, who are very demoniac. And it is said by the end of the age, there will be nothing to eat except the flesh of one's own children. Not a time that we want to come back to this world. So he kills them all, and what purifies this world? Do you remember? The fragrance of his body purifies the entire universe and gets it ready for Satya Yuga to begin. Do you know that? All right. Read on into the 11th and 12th cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyhow, we're looking forward to that in classes. So let's go on, and would someone please, Bhakta Jose, would you read number 20, please?
My dear Lord, although it is not your desire, you manifest this creation of gross and subtle elements just for our sensual satisfaction. Let your causeless mercy be upon us. You have appeared before us in your eternal form, adorned with a splendid wreath of tulsi leaves.
Wreath.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wreath of tulsi leaves. Yes, so we see here that Kardama Muni is acknowledging that he, Lord Krishna, manifests this creation of gross and subtle elements just for what purpose? Somebody read, what is it? Our sensual satisfaction. In other words, some people say, well, why does the Lord create a world like this, that is full of difficulties and such? But actually this world is intended for us to have satisfaction. And if we follow the rules in the rule book, then that's what we get. However, when we refuse to follow it, then even the rule book seems to get lost. And therefore, then we have to take those reactions. We get reactions for what we've done good in the past, and we get reactions for what we have done bad in the past. Both are forms of karma, and we call that karma which allows us to be born into a nice aristocratic family, have lots of wealth at our disposal, lets us be around really nice people, and maybe have a nice family of our own with a good mate. We call that good karma, don't we? But in actuality, there's no such thing as good karma. Karma means reactions, and even what we call good karma brings us back again into this material world. Did you know that? So if somebody does something really nice for you, then that person gets to come back in his next lifetime and enjoy the results of having done pious activities. Isn't that amazing? So why should not anybody want to come back into this material world if you have a lot of good karma? That's because you will keep having to come back. Every time we come, every action we perform has some reaction to go with it. So I should make this point once more. The last time I gave class, I made this point, and that is that our good karma and our bad karma determine how much we enjoy and suffer in this world. It is not the other person who is originally responsible for causing our suffering. And it's also not another person who is the cause of our happiness. Unless, of course, we get in touch with the devotees of the Lord. And then they can help us to eliminate both the so-called good and bad karma. If we get on the path of devotional service, then what is that called? What kind of karma is that? Karma, which means no karma. So you hear sometimes of a restaurant or a place that says Good Karma Restaurant. Isn't there one in Dallas like that? Karmic, yeah. But we're not interested in good karma. We're interested in karma, which means no karma. We don't want karma. So the only way then that we can perform activities in this world without accruing karma is to perform them for the service and for the benefit of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what does He want of us in this world more than anything else? To help everybody else get out. He would like to wind up this universe, take all the living entities out of it, and take them back to the spiritual world from which they have come. Okay, let's go to text number 21, which will be our last one. Rupa, do you have? Oh, you have the microphone. That's all right, you read. 21.
I continuously offer my respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet, of which it is worthy to take shelter, because you shower all benediction on the insignificant, to give all living entities detachment from fruitive activity by realizing you. You have expanded these material worlds by your own energy.
To give all living entities detachment from the fruitive activity by realizing you. All living entities, that include the living entities that take the bodies of viruses and bacteria and single cell amoeba. Yep. Everything that lives in this world is coming. It has in it a spirit soul, which is exactly like the spirit soul in this body that we now occupy. Did you know that? And we've been through all those life forms. 8,400,000 species of life in this material world. And we've known them all. And finally, we've gotten back to our human form of life. And what is so special about the human form of life? Rupa. What is so special about the human form of life among all the 8,400,000 species?
We have the ability to reason and use our intelligence to serve the Lord. And
that's right.
Yeah.
And it begins with asking the question, who am I? And then if you get an answer to that, then where did I come from? And what am I supposed to be doing here? And what happens when I, like everyone else I see around me, gives up his body? When I give up my body, what happens then? When you ask those questions, you have climbed out of the animal species and the plant species back into the human form of life, and you can ask those questions, and that's a sign that you have become conscious. And Srila Prabhupada has said we must become conscious before we can become Krishna conscious. So, what did it say? Thank God for Prabhupada. So we're going to go back now to text number 15. And just Dumna's got it up for us. Okay, we're going to be reading the transliterations of the text, which means taking the Gitanagari spelling of words. We saw that above. Can you lower the screen and let's see the Gitanagari? No, up above. Go. There you go. There we go. Right there. We cannot, unless you have experience with the Sanskrit language, you cannot read the words, even though the text is there. So we get a transliteration into characters that we can pronounce. So I think we'll do this line by line, and I'll ask you to repeat after I say them. Tata sachaham parivodhu kama. This, incidentally, is one of my favorite tunes, one of the favorite meters of the Sanskrit that I like a lot. Samanashilam grihamethadenam denum. Upeyivan mulam ashesha mulam. Durashaya kama dukhangri pasya. Dugangri pasya. Let's try it again. It's not the easiest one, but it's also not the hardest one I've ever tried to read. Tata chaham parivodhu kama. Samanashilam grihameda denum. Upeyivan mulam ashesha mulam. Durashaya kama dukhangri pasya. Chant, please.
Tata chankaham prahivodu kama. Samana silam grahamede denam. Upeivan mulam nasese mulam. Durasaya kama dughangri pasya.
Participate in this gift, but there are many people who think they have the gift of tongues, but all they're really doing is there are people who do have the authentic charismatic gift of tongues. I would gather that it's probably being baptized is not the same as having the gift of tongues. Phenomenon associated with baptism. I would recommend I'll leave it at this. And getting a sense of
One more.
the instructions that St. Paul gave when it came to things like speaking in tongues when you're in a group. He says, don't be speaking in tongues. And only if there's somebody who has the charismatic gift of interpretation of tongues. That too, I would say, is far less common than many people believe. That might scandalize unbelievers. Would be if you're in a group, don't be speaking in tongues simultaneously. It seems to be one of the things that people in charismatic renewal either never learned or they disregard.
Can you chant that?
So I offer that for your consideration.
Okay, all right.
Clock.
All right, let's go. Let's do word-for-word translations. If you will, repeat after me. Tata, similarly. Sa, myself. Cha, also.